China recently unveiled its 14th five-year development plan, covering the period 2021 to 2025. In the next 5 years, Beijing plans to pave the way for attaining two strategic goals: doubling gross domestic product by 2035 compared with 2020, and achieving the status of high-income economy with more self-sufficiency. China is one of the most important arms buyers for Russia. With China's plan to become self-sufficient, Russia could slowly see a dip in sales. Also, Russia has concerns about China's long-term military objectives. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how President Putin would keep China dependent on Russia for military technology. Let's get into the details. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. China is not an ideal customer for Russia by far. There are two reasons for this. One, China has no regard for intellectual property rights. China copies and reverse engineers Russian platforms. It then produces these platforms under different names for domestic use and even international export. Russian state defense conglomerate Rostec accused China of illegally copying a broad range of Russian weaponry and other military hardware. Yevgeny Levadny, Rostec's chief of intellectual property projects, on December 14, 2019, said, "Unauthorized copying of our equipment abroad is a huge problem. There have been 500 such cases over the past 17 years. China alone has copied aircraft engines, Sukhoi planes, deck jets, air defense systems, portable defense missiles, and analogs of the Pantsir medium-range surface-to-air systems." 2. China has insane territorial ambitions, and Russia is not immune. Last year, China indirectly laid claim on the Russian city of Vladivostok. To celebrate the 160th anniversary of Vladivostok, a video was posted by the Russian embassy on the Chinese social media website Weibo. But Chinese, including diplomats, journalists, and social media users, objected to this almost instantly. Shen Shiwin, a journalist at the Chinese state-run broadcaster China Global Television Network (CGTN), tweeted this tweet of #Russian Embassy to #China isn't so welcome on Weibo. The history of Vladivostok is from 1860, when Russia built a military harbor, but the city was Hai-Shen-Wai as Chinese land before Russia annexed it via unequal Treaty of Beijing. It's clear that China could one day turn against Russia and is just playing the waiting game. In this situation, a valid question arises. Why then Russia keeps selling weapons to China? Up to February 2014, Russian dependence on China was very low, but things changed as the US and its allies hit Russia with sanctions. The sanctions have pushed its top companies out of the dollar-based financial system. This has affected the Russian economy adversely. In this situation, Moscow has been forced to maintain seemingly close ties with Beijing. China offers the best opportunity for Russia to diversify its trade since it's a massive market. It imports a significant quantity of oil from Russia apart from weapons. Basically, Russia needs money, which China has, and military hardware is one of the few items Russia can offer to China. Also, NATO's eternal focus on Russia has pushed the country to form an informal pact with the communist regime. In 2018, during a speech to parliamentarians, President Putin stated Russia is not prepared to sell its very latest weapons. So this is a precarious situation. Russia needs to pull off a complex strategy, as part of which it can continue milking the Chinese market, but keep the real state-of-the-art technology guarded. The idea is to ensure joint ventures don't turn into success immediately and are stretched over a long period of time. A case study can be BrahMos supersonic cruise missile. It's a joint venture between the Russian Federation's NPO Mashinostroyenia and India's Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, who together have formed BrahMos Aerospace. The venture is a massive success, and the BrahMos is currently one of the most potent cruise missiles in the world. It's been integrated into Indian Navy warships, Indian Army ground units, as well as Indian Air Force Su-30 MKI. There's also a discussion going on for export with many countries. But in the case of China, a successful joint venture like this will be detrimental for Russia, as China does pose a threat, unlike India, and is also known to copy Russian tech indiscriminately. The idea will be to methodically delay joint projects while encouraging China to go for off-the-shelf hardware. An example will be Sukhoi Su-35S. China has purchased 24 of these for the People's Liberation Army Air Force, PLAAF. Russia has offered China a second batch of these multi-role fighter aircraft. It's to be noted that in the export version, many cutting-edge techs are omitted. The real deal when it comes to the Russian fighter jet is the Sukhoi Su-57, which incorporates the best Russia has to offer. In early June 2017, reports from Russian media indicated that yet another ground forces missile brigade received the dreaded Iskander-M missile system. The brigade was the 29th Russian Army's newly established 3rd Missile Brigade, based in Russia's enormous Eastern Military District. It must be noted that Russia's Eastern Military District is meant to defend against any Chinese thrust. Iskander-M is a tactical missile system designed to be used in theater-level conflicts. Iskander-M is equipped with 2 solid-propellant single-stage guided missiles. It travels at a hypersonic speed of around Mach 6, carries a warhead of 750 kilograms or about 1,650 pounds, and has a range of 500 kilometers or 310 miles. Iskander-M can also be used for nuke delivery. Its ability to deliver nuclear payloads strengthens Russia's nuclear de-escalation doctrine, which aims to deter a rival from engaging in a confrontation by threatening to retaliate with a limited nuclear strike. Placing an advanced system like Iskander-M against China clearly indicates that Russia feels it needs to guard against Chinese forces. This also underlines the necessity to walk the tightrope when it comes to China, and President Putin seems to be doing exactly that. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.